Grow your indoor garden with some simple leaf and leaf stem cuttings. It's easier than you think. Hi, I'm Melinda Myers. I think a lot of us have seen our moms, our grandparents, our aunts and uncles start new plants from cuttings. And it may be something you do already and it's easy, or you may be struggling. So here are some tips to give a try. Let's start with the easiest method, and that's a leaf stem cutting. I brought two different plants that are very easy to root. This is a wandering Jew, and basically I've cut it off above a healthy stem. We're going to make our cuttings about 3 to 4 inches long. Most gardeners want a foot-long cutting, thinking you're going to end up with a bigger plant faster. What happens is you lose more moisture from the leaves, it doesn't root as quickly, and you end up slowing down the process. So we've got about a 4-inch long cutting. We're going to remove the lowest leaf, and that's the node. That's where the new roots are going to form. We've filled a container with a well-drained potting mix or vermiculite, and we're going to stick it in so that it covers that node, keep the soil moist, and in several weeks you're going to end up with a cutting that's rooted. Now if you put it in vermiculite, you're going to need to repot it. But if you put it in well-drained potting mix, then you can leave it in this container until it outgrows that pot. One of the things I like to do, put it in a plastic bag, don't close it tight, leave it loose. It holds the humidity and reduces the need to water. A good way to do leaf stem cuttings. Now for things that have woody stems, you might want to use a rooting hormone. And basically all you do with those is when you take your cutting and you remove the lower leaf or two, you just basically dip it in the rooting hormone. It has a fungicide to prevent rot and a hormone to encourage rooting. It'll speed things up and increase your chance of success. Now, how about those African violets? How would you do a leaf stem cutting on this? It's pretty simple. Basically, remove a leaf, and I'm going to pick one of the lower leaves so my plant still looks good despite the fact I'm starting new plants. So I'm going to take one of these lower leaves and cut the leaf and the leaf stem, that's the petiole, and I'm going to basically bury that petiole right in the soil. We're going to keep the soil moist, and in about a month we'll see a small little African violet plant develop. In 2 months it's going to be a good size that you'll recognize it. So it definitely requires patience, but it's truly a fun activity for everyone to try. And how about those succulents? You may have seen succulents root on their own. That jade plant that dropped a few leaves and they rooted in the soil below. Well, take a leaf cutting or leaf stem cutting and let it sit overnight. It heals up or suberizes and calluses off. Then stick it in a well-drained cacti and succulent mix like that. Just like your African violet, you'll get a new plant forming soon. Just be patient and keep this soil mix a bit drier. Now I have a fun activity to help you increase your success. Make a mini rooting chamber. Basically, we've taken an azalea pot, kind of short and squatty, filled it with a well-drained potting mix. In the middle, we put a smaller terracotta pot. This one doesn't have drainage holes. That's what we want. We're going to keep water in this so that as the soil dries, the water moves from the pot into the surrounding soil. Then we can just basically put all our cuttings around that pot, again, removing the lower leaf, and then cover it with plastic, and it will root much more quickly, so we can get a lot of plants rooted in a very small space. So give it a try. I think you'll be surprised at the success you have rooting your own plants and growing your indoor plant collection.